Hello everyone, it's Della DuLac. Today we're going to do a paper pumpkin kit. This is from February 2021 called Bouquet of Hope. And when you become a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, in your first kit you're going to get a clear block for you to use with the stamp sets in all of your kits to come. Very handy. I like having a few of those on hand. So for the February kit, this is the 3 projects that come all set and ready for you to go. Of course, you know me, I'd like to mix them up, make some different alternatives. So I will show you what I have come up with for this particular kit. For this kit, this is the stamp set. Very cute. Very cute little bouquet, hence Bouquet of Hope. And it's great. It has a little "I'm sorry for your loss" stamp, so it's great for sympathy if you need any of those. So that is the set. This is some of the kit components. You usually get little sheets of pop-out pieces that you can add to your cards. And like always, I like to show you guys when you pop these out. Let's get a dark piece. So when you pop these out, you usually have these little paper nibs. I really hate those. So always have an emery board handy, and then you can just rub those right off, and then you don't have those on your card. Like I said, when you mat them and when you put them on a darker piece, they really stand out, like right there. So just rubbing those off, it just gives it a nice finished, clean look. So a little tip there. And then here are some of the other components. You've got your tags, beautiful little foil sheet here that's already laser die cut out. So on the sample that they've done, they've just used this hole this way. But I liked this orientation, especially for the tag. But I will show you a little tip for that later. A beautiful little vellum sheet with some gold foiling. And then some of the little laser sticker words. So we've got the thinking of you, and then the German, and I'm not sure what this one is. German versions. So when you get your card packs, they come as a whole card, and I've already cut these up. So you would fold your card pieces in half to use for your cards. I usually like to cut mine as well so I can use them for mats. So this was the back, so this was the front. So of course when you folded it over, you had this on the front, you had a white inside with this was the back. But I wanted to just use this as a layer, so I cut them down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then the same with this one. This one is actually on both sides. So when you opened them up, you had the white inside, but it was this beautiful striping on both sides. So when I cut all of these, I ended up with a lot of these backing pieces to use on a lot of cards. So I'm really going to get a lot more cards out of this kit. And you can see this one I've cut into more pieces to use just a portion of this on a card. So we'll set those aside, and then your beautiful envelopes, and they have already come with the printed liner already in there. Love those. Okay, now, let's just a couple of these. You'll always get an ink spot in your kit, so you can, that's a great way to get a sample of all of the Stampin' Up! Colors. And we got some cording and some of these beautiful little self-adhesive sequins. So for the cards that I have done, let's move the box. Okay, so for this one, this was the original here. And I have taken this piece that I said I cut up already, and I made that 4 by 5 1/4 to add to the matte piece on my card. And I've put it on the pink card. So this one I didn't cut. This was the whole card that came in there. I didn't cut this one up. I used it for the card. But if you can see my little white edge here, since it had just the printed color on the outside and it has a white card on the base, you've got this white core. So again, I've taken my emery board and I've just filed at an angle all the way around my card piece, and you've got this pretty little white edging around the whole card. And then I've just taken that cutout, I've put that on the front, I glued it straight to the card here, and then it has a little bit of lift with some dimensionals in the back. I'm not sure you can kind of tell I added some Wink of Stella to those flowers and made it a thank you, and then the little flower cutout I put on the inside of the card. And then for kind of a little bit similar, I have used the stamp set. So the stamp that came in here, I've stamped that in the Memento Black, and then I colored it with the blends. I love the coloring with the blends. They're an alcohol-based marker, so they blend really well when you color those. And then I just put that on a Blushing Bride card and stamped, just left that black and white. I could probably add another one just to add a little bit something inside my cards. And then for this one here, I've taken a couple of the other components and I've really changed up this card. I've put it on the Mary Merlot. If you look on the back of your instruction sheets, it's going to tell you the colors that Stampin' Up! Has used in here. So this is a really great, so you'll find that right down here. So this is a great resource for you to tell what colors they've used. So I went and I got a piece of my Mary Merlot card base to use for this card. And then I've taken the vellum, some of the other pieces from the other cards to create my own design. And I'm going to tell you a little tip with this. Whenever you're working with vellum, typically the adhesive will show through it. So you want to get kind of creative of where you're going to put your adhesive. So what I have done before I put this on my card base, I glued this piece down and this piece down. So when I glue it to my card, I'm going to put adhesive right back here, and then I put 3 little glue dots right there, and that's exactly where I'm going to put these little sequins. So when I glue it to the card, this is where the adhesive is going to be. And if you got really careful, you could probably put little glue dots behind some of these foil pieces, and it probably wouldn't show up as much. But I just did it in the middle, and then that will secure pretty well, so you can see it's not glued down here at all along the sides. So that's what I've done with that. And then I took the little stamp, the little flower stamp, and the little leaves to create the little flowers for the inside of the card. And again, I used the same colors that they've used here, which was the Mary Merlot and Mossy Meadow. So that's how I did that one. Put those over there. And then back to this one with the whole beautiful little foil sheet here. Before I put it on my card, I took a little flower die, and this one just happens to be from the Many Layered Blossom dies. Very cute. But I think that it had a very similar look and went fairly well with the styles of these flowers here. So I took that little die and I put 2 of them on the inside, the middle part here, and I ran that through my Big Shot, or my cut and emboss machine. I still call it a Big Shot. And I'm not sure where, here it is. So I cut 2 of those out of the middle, and then I cut it in half so I could make 2 cards. And I've used some of the papers from Celebration because they went very well and coordinated very well with this kit. So I had 2 of these pieces that I cut, and you can put this on top so you're not going to see the little flowers that I had cut out, and I put them on the inside. So I've got a little strip of this paper and a little flower. And for this one, I just had a couple little flowers. Very cute. Great way to get just a little bit more out of your pieces. If you can cut them in half and use them for 2 cards, that's even better. And for this one here, I took the Thinking of You and put that on this base with the white. And I took the little butterfly dies from Brilliant Wings. And then I cut that actually right out of that piece. So you can see I took this piece here, which was the Thinking of You, and I positioned a couple butterflies out of this because this whole thing is sticky. It's a sticky sheet. So when you peel off these pieces, it has a sticky backing. And it's just a slightly different black than our basic black cardstock. So I wanted these 2, because they're together on the front, I wanted them to coordinate with each other. And then I've got the little black, another little black butterfly on the inside. And just added a little bit of old retired ribbon, super cute. And then same with this, those butterflies again. I love these butterflies. They're just gorgeous. And then for this piece here, I've taken a 3/4 inch strip out of this here to put on the inside of the card. And then I just covered it up with 1 inch of the shaded spruce cardstock with a little bit of white ribbon. More butterflies, of course. Love those. Now I'm going to show you how I got a little creative, because I do not have anybody to send German cards to, and I didn't want to waste these. So I'm looking at these letters trying to think, what can I spell? How can I cut these apart and spell something new? So I instantly thought of believe. I took this, let's get a whole one here. So I took the B here, cut it apart, and then here, and just kind of pieced them together. You can see that I cut this piece right here and trimmed it down so it looked like a V. And then took the E here and put that together. So I made a winter card. Added some snowflakes, a little strip again with another snowflake for the inside. And again here, took up here. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a J or if it's a T. I don't know, but to me I thought it could be a J, and I cut this one down here and I turned it upside down and trimmed out those little pieces here. So flip this upside down. See right here, that kind of looks like a Y, right? You just cut this little bit out of the middle, and there you have joy. More snowflakes. Love those. So you can get creative with some of the pieces that come in the kits and come up with your own designs. I'll have to get really creative with some of these that I may or may not be able to use. We'll have to see what else I can spell with some of these. But those were pretty fun. One more thing, or a couple more things I'm going to show you is, where did it go? Okay. So when I cut apart these, get those out of the way. So when I cut these 2 apart, I have this beautiful piece here that is just the Mary Merlot on the one side. It is white on this side. You run this through an embossing folder and take your trusty emery board. And because it has a white core, after you run it through your embossing folder, you can take your emery board and you can just ever so slightly rub off some of that color, and you will expose. Isn't that great? It's just a really fun distressed look. So you can add this to a card, maybe put that on with some of that Rococo Rose pink or any color background really. You could add another butterfly, maybe add a tag, maybe some ribbon. You can just get really creative here. That actually is kind of cute. Maybe a little bit of ribbon. But that's a really great thing to use with some of these. Most of the card stocks, the card bases that come in these kits do have a white core. So you've got the color on the front and a white lining on the inside, which means when you run it through and you file off there, you're going to expose some of that white core. So kind of a fun little thing to do with those. And very quickly, I'm going to show you, when you take off, you have to be very careful when you're taking these off of here. So for me, when I used mine anyway, so you want to come around the whole thing and just kind of try lifting it up instead of pulling from one side, because you're going to stretch out your letters and probably break them. So you want to be very careful taking this off and kind of try to get it off all into as one piece. There we go, almost, there we go. So very carefully take all of that off into one piece, and I'll get the little center out of my O there. Here we go. Get that off my, well, it's just going to stick on my thumbnail. And I have taken this piece here that I have prepared ahead of time. So again, I took a little piece of this, and we're going to very carefully stick this. Of course, it wants to stick to everything. There we go. And I'm going to put that on at an angle. Again, try very careful not to stretch it all out. That looks pretty good. Oh, let me get my little piercer tool. I've got a little center here that did not come out. There we go. Stick that there too. Okay, there we go. Okay, get all that stuck down. That looks pretty good. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Love that. And I put that on the Blush and Bride card base. Just took a little bit of that twine and wrapped it around this piece before I put it on the base. And took a little bit of those little flowers, put them on some dimensionals, and a little strip of that on the inside. I could probably come back with those little flowers to do some on the inside as well. Maybe down here in the corner would be kind of cute. And then that is a great way to use up all these different little pieces from your kits. Again, if you do have this kit, be very careful when you're taking these off so you don't stretch those out or rip them. But those are my cards for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Make sure that you click that bell button and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Until next time, have a great day.